but in the last quarter, we saw them dilute 6% of the shares. Let's talk about the other bets, Waymo. Elon Musk tweeted recently that he expects Google to reach 500 million users by the end of 2025. I just bought Google, not the whole thing, but today let's talk about my price target for Google, some of the things I'm most excited about Google and why I'm so bullish, technical analysis. Right up next, fair value of Google, what is the intrinsic value, and where is this stock going to be 5 years from now? So to do that, we're going to take a look at net earnings. For the last 10 years, they have been growing net income at a 22%. For the last 5 years, 23%. But analysts are saying that they're going to grow their net earnings at a 12%. So let's be bearish and conservative, and let's say they grow their net income for 12% at 12% rate for the next 5 years. Dividend growth rate, we're going to keep the same. The shares outstanding, this is where it gets interesting. I put 0% because on average, they do buy 0.5% of the shares back, but in the last quarter, we saw them dilute 6% of the shares because of the Wiz acquisition, which I'm bullish on, and I'm sure you heard about it. They're doubling down on their cloud business, and just makes me more bullish on them. We're going to get into that later. And then we get to the price to earnings. What is a fair price to earnings for Google? Right now, it's sitting at about a 17 times earnings. On average, it sits at about 25 times earnings. So again, if we stay conservative and give it a 20 times earnings, we get a fair value of about $180. That is a 16% margin of safety. And we get a CAGR of 13% for the next 5 years, which we beat the market. This is a very, very safe stock to hold. And I think they will outperform the 13%. And let's see what they could do. Even if they just sell for 25 times earnings, we get an 18% CAGR. And again, if they grow the earnings at 15%, which I think is very possible, we get a CAGR of 21%. And right now, you don't have to be a genius to look at the chart and see it is not looking bullish. And it is not looking bullish for any of the Mega 7, or the whole market is down this year. Everybody knows that. But how much more down can it go? So I opened up a position right here around 159, 156. And they have a gap right here at 150, 151. That's a 5% drop. They have another gap down here at 8% drop, 10% drop. And the most I see happening is a 15% drop, but that is more of in the bearish case. I see Google falling down to 140, another 10% drop. And if it does happen, I'm just going to buy more. So I think even at this price, it is a great time to buy. It is 25% down from the all-time highs. But now let's look at the numbers. Let's talk about why I'm actually buying Google and why I plan to hold it for the next decade or so. And I think everybody should. There's a lot of things going on with Google. That's awesome. But everybody says this is a generational buying opportunity that is selling for so cheap. And if you look at the operating cash flow, it is selling at 15 times operating cash flow. At the COVID crash, it was selling at 13 times free cash flow, operating cash flow. And 2023, it was selling at 12 times. So it is not at the very bottom. And it is not that far off from the top of 20s, 23. And if you look at the price to sales as well, it's sitting close to the median of 6.2. It is sitting at 5.5. The reason I'm buying Google today isn't because I think it's so mispriced. I think it just has such a bright future and the management has been doing so well. So what have they been doing so well with? Okay, so first things first, let's look at FinChat. Now, there's a 14-day free trial for this website. Everybody should try it out. If you look at individual stocks, it's a lifesaver. If you look at the Google total revenue, it has been growing at 18% for the last 10 years. But now if you look at the cloud revenue itself, it has been turned around and become very, very profitable. That is the same thing happening with AWS. And if you look at the cloud market, Amazon first, holding 30%, Microsoft is after it, and Google Cloud third place with 12%. And if we look at the cloud market itself is growing at a CAGR of 18%. So even if they keep their share, the revenues should theoretically grow by 18%. But they did just acquire Wiz, which is a cloud service company, and that's going to bring in a whole lot more revenue at great margins. Now, there's two more things I'm very excited about. I'm going to save the best for last, but the next thing, let's talk about the other bets, Waymo. Now, I did a video not too long ago on Google, more specifically talking about the other bets, and Waymo was the main talk of the video. And the point was that Waymo should be profitable in 2025. Now, some people are saying that they won't be profitable for another couple of years, but I think Waymo is expanding and getting that first mover advantage. If you look at Joseph Carlson's tweet, he's very bullish on Google. Everybody loves him. If you're watching this, Joseph, I love you too. But the point is, he compares Tesla to Waymo. And Elon Musk tweeted recently that he expects Tesla robotaxis to be active in June with an overnight software like this that gets the full self-drive, the robotaxi version, and whatnot. But Waymo has been doing it already. Waymo has been getting a lot of miles, and this is a picture of the factory in Arizona of just Waymos being printed, more and more of them. And now, if you compare, the main thing between Waymo and Tesla is the LiDAR. So Google uses LiDAR, which is much more expensive. And then we can see right here, we asked Grok about LiDAR, is the price is going down, and right now it's about $1,000 per automotive use, and that by 2030 prices could drop to a few $100s per unit. So as these technologies get built, more and more of them, it's going to get cheaper and cheaper. But to end the conversation off for Waymo versus Tesla, I think it is not a Waymo or Tesla situation. I think both Waymo and Tesla are going to do just fine, and they're both going to profit massively in the coming decades of the autonomous driving. But now the next thing that I'm very bullish of is the Google subscription segment. Now, I think this is the one that's going to boom and double within the next 5 years, and specifically because of Gemini. The reason I'm so bullish on Gemini is because, number one, I've been using it and I love it. Their deep research tool is amazing. The live chat is amazing. So many things about it. And I think it's going to be adopted because of the integration across all the Google apps. There's Gmail, Docs, Google Sheets, there's Google Pixel. They have their own phone. And I have a Samsung and I use Gemini as my AI assistant because I don't have an iPhone, I don't have Siri. And we see the same thing happening with Microsoft's AI. So their AI is called Copilot, and they have about 14% market share in the generative and AI chatbot space. So why do they have it? It's because they have 75 million PC users who use Windows. So automatically they'll be able to use Copilot. And now the same thing is happening with Google. Google has lots of products. And if we look at Google, they have a goal to reach 500 million users by the end of 2025. If you look at them right now, they have about 100 million users. 100 million users, and we don't know how many of them are paid, but let's say 10 million of them are paid. If 10 million users pay for Gemini, that's about $2.3 billion a year. And if they scale that all the way up to 100 million users, that's about $23 billion of revenue. So that gives us the double, because 23 billion is half of the 40 billion right here in the subscription revenue. So my thinking when I'm investing in Google is I'm going to make it a bigger part of my portfolio, having Google and Amazon as one of my main core holdings, and I will be double down on them rather than investing in the S&P 500 or the QQQ. I think that's going to outperform the market. Comment down below your thoughts on Google, the Waymo Tesla fight, and whatever else is on your mind. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon.